Where are you? Here. What's going on, everyone? My name is Henry from Ahead of the Curve 94. Thank you so much for tuning in to yet another episode of Old Habits Die Hard. On today's show, we're going to talk about the 20th anniversary of Batman Begins. Let's go. Alright, Batman Begins. Telling the origin story of Bruce Wayne from the death of his parents to his journey to become Batman and his fight to stop Ra's al Ghul and Scarecrow from plunging Gotham City into chaos. Off rip, I need to say something in the beginning here. For some reason, Batman Begins never gets the respect it deserves. For some reason, people always act like The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises are the only two films in this series. Now I get it. Batman Begins is completely a different animal. With the title alone, or the Gotham City that they use in this film, is completely different than what we get in the sequels. In my personal opinion, at least up until this point in 2005, never has there been a superhero film treated with such grand scale and respect. Now, this one came out when I was 11 years old. I even got the video game for my 11th birthday that year. This one, it hit home for me just at the right time. So with that being said, now let's really dive into this one. Now, this film opens with a flashback that will continue later on in the film. The film opens with young Bruce and young Rachel playing hide and seek and tag, all this kid shit. Bruce, being a young kid, not really paying attention and all that, his ass stumbles and falls right into a creepy dark cave. But we'll finish that one later. Now we cut to present day Bruce, and where the fuck is he? Yeah. I see Christian Bale right there. You're looking all rough and ragged. Where's Bruce Wayne? That's Bruce Wayne? Alright. You've already got me intrigued. Gotta love a cold opening where they just drop you in somewhere random. This motherfucker is in a prison somewhere in Asia. And he's over here kicking ass, ends up in solitary. And that is where we're introduced to the badass, legendary Liam Neeson as Henry Ducard. Okay. A fellow Henry. Gotta respect that. Henry offers Bruce a chance to join some weird league or cult. I believe they're called the League of Shadows or some bullshit like that. Wink. Full disclosure, people, I'm being tongue in cheek about this shit, okay? Yes. In order to join the shit, he has to climb a mountain just to begin training. Phase 1. Now, early on, we like to flash back between past and present. So at this point, we're going to flash back to a young Alfred. Keyword is young, and he's still played by Michael Caine. Let's just be honest, people. I can't think of shit where Michael Caine is young. He and like Morgan Freeman, Tommy Lee Jones, they've been old forever. There's just no way around it. So we flash back to young Michael Caine, just like we did in Interstellar, where this motherfucker aged 23 years and didn't change his goatee in the slightest. Oh man, if you're a fan of that film, check that review out. And while we're talking about Michael Caine, let's just get it out the way. Yeah, cast is dope, score, cinematography as well, but the cast is really what pulls me in nowadays. Back when I first saw the shit, hey, it's Batman. I'm gonna see it. But now you tell me Gary Oldman, Morgan Freeman, fucking Christian Bale. There's all these A-list talent that, yeah, I'm showing up anyway. Shit, that's the reason why I watched Amsterdam. I wanted to see what that cast was gonna do. Unfortunately, that film also had Christian Bale in it, and it was a bit of a stinker. Just before Bruce begins his final phase of training, we cut back to that one fateful night that changed Bruce's life forever as we speak. The night his parents were killed. It is nice to get some insight into the parents, honestly. The dad, in particular, Thomas Wayne, I mean, he's portrayed as a goddamn beacon of hope for this city. It kind of felt weird to me that no one really talks about Martha. I believe the next time we hear Bruce refer to his mother is when in The Dark Knight Rises, fucking Catwoman steals her pearls. I think that's it. Her presence is, dare I say, kind of missing in these movies. Just like any other Batman origin story, the parents and Bruce are at the opera. They leave. For some reason, they decide to go down the scariest fucking alley I've ever seen in my life. Every single time I watch this, or the other versions of the Batman, can you take the front entrance? That's literally my thought every time. Maybe don't go down Crime Alley or whatever the fuck it's called. It might have that name for a reason. Hey, the guy that plays Joe Chill is Richard Brake. Now, by the time this video is posted, I've already posted my Doom video, which he's a character in that one as well. So Richard Brake just played sleazy characters in the year 2005. Just now putting those two together. Also in that flashback, we see a young Jim Gordon. Now hold on to your horses. At this point, he's still your standard, patrol officer. He's not Commissioner Gordon that we all know and love just yet. I will say, watching Bruce become Batman, or in this case, just a ninja right now, it's fucking dope, people. And then you have Henry Ducard, who's like a great foil to Bruce.
Yield. You haven't beaten me. You have sacrificed sure footing for a killing stroke.
Man, I wish these two had more scenes together. I gotta be real. Henry and Bruce, man, that's the relationship I needed to see more of. Not Bruce and Rachel, which we'll get into. Henry is trying his best to take Bruce under his wing. But the problem is, people, the League of Shadows, they like to use more brutal and intense punishments. We get another flashback before we get the climactic moment of Bruce finishing his training. Before that, we cut back to Bruce, who had just returned home from college to attend the trial for Joe Chill. It's like, shit, man, this took a long time to go through, huh? In actuality, he's not here to attend the trial at all. He's here to kill the motherfucker. This is where we're introduced to the grown-up Rachel Dawes, played by Katie Holmes. Don't expect her to return in the sequel. Don't you do it. She's portrayed as yet another beacon of hope. So, that's something for the hero to pine over a little bit. I will say, okay, this is the weakest part of the movie, is their non-love story. The entire time they have this will they or won't they, the whole time I'm just like, yeah, I know where this leads. I know Batman. Get this, people. Just as Bruce is ready to pull the trigger on Joe Chill, someone else beats him to the punch. Or in this case, the gunshot, because the timing, fucking impeccable. Like, hey, we would hate to waste Bruce Wayne's life. Throw in this unknown character that we'll never hear of again. It's just awfully convenient. That's the word I'll use for it. And best believe, by the time this is over, we're going to talk about a few other conveniences. I just don't have time to stop for them right now. Bruce tells Rachel she doesn't like it, so she tells him to visit Falcone. This version of Falcone, kind of interesting. I will say much better portrayed by John Turturro in The Batman. I much prefer that version. But this one's pretty dope, played by Tom Wilkinson. If I'm wrong, editor, have at it. Have your fucking fun. But if I'm right, go fuck yourself, editor. Carmine sets Bruce straight. It's like, look, motherfucker, I run this town. So, he has his goons rough him up a little bit, sends him on his way. It's like, bitch, you can't touch me. At this point, Bruce says, fuck it, I'm leaving Gotham, heads off to some random unnamed ship to essentially never be heard of again for at least 7 years. This is where we lead to the Bruce that we see in the intro, okay? That rough, ragged version. Yeah, this motherfucker had to learn the hard way. He becomes, a fucking homeless person. He's just doing odd jobs, stealing food, and he becomes a partial criminal.
Your name is. You're a criminal. What was your friend you? Tell that to the guy who owned these.
Yeah, believe that Bruce Wayne, partially a criminal. Him becoming a criminal leads him to prison, and hey, look at that. We just did the origin story in the first 30 minutes or so. Not bad. And frankly, people, this is in a time where origin stories were kind of already overdone. Now that we're all caught up, I believe we're done with flashbacks for the most part here. Let's get back to the final phase of training. I have one question, people. Bruce must learn to face his fears, which is bats, as we've established early on in the film. How the fuck does the LOS, the League of Shadows, know that? Did Bruce go around telling everybody? Because honestly, if that was me, someone asked me my biggest fear, I'm gonna go $10 million. But hey, he faces his fears, he passes the test. But it turns out there's actually one true final task. He must execute a criminal. People, Batman, as we know it, has a strict no killing rule. But does he really have that rule? Or is it just different iterations that has that rule? Let's be real, people. Michael Keaton is killing people. Batfleck killing people. I don't think Pattinson has killed anyone technically. This time he said, fuck no, sets the place ablaze, which was really fucking lucky. I mean, that not only is that skill, that was luck. Huh? There's no way around that shit. Needless to say, the League of Shadows had a plan of how this would go down, and this isn't it. Just before it all went to shit, they revealed their evil plan to take over Gotham. Unfortunately for Ra's al Ghul, the man in charge, he gets murked, he's taken out. Bruce decides to save Henry because, out of respect, I guess. I get that, but shit, I mean, for the most part, the League of Shadows, they're crumbling. I gotta be real, people. This sequence, fun as hell, even to this day. But don't you bring your ass here into these films in particular looking for a great fight, okay? Whether it be fists or swords. This entire series leaves a lot to be desired in that department. It just is what it is. Most of the time, Batman fights with his elbows up and, they'll just cut and we never see shit. Easily the most frustrating part about these movies. But hey, people, Bruce is going back to Gotham now, a changed man. Insert Alfred, who's, just as witty as ever. This version of Alfred is really fucking cool to be real. Bruce shares his intentions, what he wants to do when he comes back to Gotham. Alfred's like, hey, I guess I'm in by default. It's just a real ride or die. Insert into the movie for the first time Oppenheimer. I'm just playing. It's Cillian Murphy who's playing Dr. Crane, who's known as Scarecrow. If you know, you know. If you don't, you will very shortly. He is very sassy and bold, and Rachel does not like him. Dr. Crane is here to tease that his employer is coming to Gotham real fucking soon. All the while that's happening, Bruce has gone public, people. He's making appearances here. He's drunk. He got two girls swimming in a goddamn fountain or some shit. He's very much making himself known. Like, hey, bitch, I ain't dead. In fact, I'm gonna buy all this shit, okay? I'm gonna buy this shit tonight. That's the vibes he's putting out. Of course, that is his true mask, okay? Yeah, I know it's corny to say it. They even say it at the end of this film, but the public persona Bruce Wayne, that's all fake. There's so much more going on with the character. That's one of my favorite traits is like, hey, This is who you see. It's not who I am. It's layered. I get it. He's like an onion. Thank you, Shrek. He even meets a crucial character for this franchise. Lucius Fox, played by Morgan Freeman, who, based off his intro, he's trying to be the goddamn MVP of this thing, man. Dude is too goddamn cool.
If you're uncomfortable.
Mr. Wayne, if you don't want to tell me exactly what you're doing when I'm asked, I don't have to lie. But don't think of me as an idiot.
Now that we've met Lucius and we've secured, gadgets and equipment, we need to spread our wings even further. We need to get some ears on the streets. Time to recruit Gordon. I love this scene right here, okay? Because he's clearly early on trying to figure shit out. He's got his goddamn prototype suit with just no cowl. Man, this is fun. But people, when he goes to take on Carmine Falcone, he comes correct, okay? There's no way around it. This is where you get the iconic, yes, I always say it in my goddamn videos. This is where we get the iconic, I'm Batman. And yeah, you know what? The voice is still corny to this day, but you know what? It's working for me. It's not ridiculous yet.
Where's the trigger? Where is it? I never give it to an ordinary citizen. Where is it? Where's the trigger?
Yeah, by the time we get to 2 and 3, oof, different story. Without going into every detail with this sequence, I will say the stealth aspect, dope. But once again, you're not going to get a good fist fight out of it. I mean, I guess it's more intentional with this scene. Later on, you expect more, but we don't really get past this. Now that Falcone is behind bars, it's time to flex a little bit, you know? Bruce goes out with the 2 women that I mentioned earlier, and they're, having fun, destroying fountains. Yeah, all that shit I mentioned earlier, that's when that happens. Bruce runs into Rachel. Yeah, go figure. How convenient. And at this point, he's looking like his most douchiest, so it's kind of picture perfect, dare I say. Shout out to Christian Bale for truly playing that persona as a true dick, man. Every time we got to see that version of Bruce, yeah, I'm glued to the goddamn screen. Rachel can't quite see through it just yet. All the while that's happening, Dr. Crane uses his fear toxin, his fear gas, on Falcone and has him institutionalized at where, you might ask? Arkham Asylum. Yes, people, that place exists in these movies, and I was happy to see it. I will say, what's with the Saw editing style? What the fuck, man? The 2000s are just covered in this, and I'm already going through every fucking Saw movie. I need a break from this editing style. That's what it is. You know what, people? Let's cut back to Batman. Let's see what he's up to. Batman interrogates Flash, who is Gordon's crooked-ass partner. This shit has been mean to death, but it's still a really dope scene, I will say. If I was Flash in this situation, I don't even think I could have gotten words out. I'm a mush mouth as it is without stakes, but you have me dangling above a shitty alley. Yeah, you got me. Actually, you know what? You don't got me. It's sensory overload. I'm not going to be of any use to you. Let me go slowly. And shortly after that, Batman has a run-in with Scarecrow. And you know what? While we're talking about memorable shit, Batman gets his ass barbecued before all this is over. I'm not kidding, people. He gets his ass dosed with the fear toxin that Scarecrow has to call home for a ride. And like, we've all been there, okay? Yes, in different circumstances, I'm sure. But we've all been in this position where it's, you had to make that embarrassing call. And, you had to bite your tongue, just get it over with. Man, that takes me back. Rachel gets hit with the shit too. Except for her, she literally walks into a situation where shit was out of her control to begin with, and she did not back down at all, and that shit took a left turn real fucking fast. I'm not kidding, people. She walked in all tough, Then she had to be carried out like a damsel in distress. Yeah, shit was humbling. I do love the fact that Batman doses Crane with the shit as well. It's like, all right, you know what? Taste your own medicine, bitch. I understand the mind's power over the body, but with Crane, he specifically designed the shit. It's like, okay, dude, wouldn't you have some type of antidote already ingested? Or what the fuck, dude? There's no precautions made. But also, dude, you know this shit is fake. Like, yeah, sure, the Batman's here, but he's not leaking ooze. You know that's a hallucination. I never understood that plot element. But hey, at this point, Scarecrow, at least for now, he's fucked up and he's just out of commission. Oh well, no time. Batman must escape Arkham Asylum with Gordon's help. We must save Rachel's life, people. 20 years later, this shit is still really fun.
Get her downstairs. Meet me in the alley on the narrow side. I need to get her the antidote before the damage becomes permanent.
How long does she have?
Not long.
What is that? Back up.
All the CGI bats you could want. Batman's racing against both time for Rachel's life and the police who have no idea if he's a criminal or a hero. Yeah, all these years, people, this shit is still really fun. I will say, on a side note, this level in the video game, the driving level, I used to love that shit, but this game is so goddamn janky. This is definitely on my revisit list at some point. It's gonna be rough. Rachel gets her antidote, she passes out, and then in this case, Bruce Wayne, must pretend that everything's a-okay, and get this, people, he must attend his birthday party. Oh yeah, this is all happening at his birthday party. Alright, people, just one of those convenient plot points. Bruce is introduced to a few people by this lady right here.
Now, am I pronouncing this right? Mr. Ra's al Ghul?
Who the fuck is she, by the way? Because she's here to introduce a huge plot twist, and then she sort of just disappears. Alright, people, let's get into it. This lady is introducing Bruce to a man named Ra's al Ghul? Except, who the fuck is this guy? What? We killed him in the beginning. Bruce even says that. And then once again you think, who the fuck is this lady? She just heard Bruce Wayne commit to a murder. But no one gives a shit. Here's the real twist, people. That fucking guy, we already know he's not the real Ra's al Ghul. Who the fuck is it? Oh shit, it's Henry Ducard? Dun dun dun.
You're not Ra's al Ghul. I watched him die.
But is Ra's al Ghul immortal? Are his methods supernatural?
In actuality, I'm sure it's not a big shocker to most of you. While that's happening, Arkham's prisoners are being released, including Crane. The League of Shadows raid Gotham City. They're here to take over. But we're going to start with burning Wayne Manor to the ground. But you know what? This is a party. How the fuck are we going to get all these people out of here without letting them know what the real deal is? Bruce comes up with a brilliant idea that, well, it hurts his reputation, but he just saves so many lives in the process. That right there is what a hero does. So the League burned the manor down with Bruce still in it. Oh my God, is he gonna live? Who knows? You remember that microwave emitter we talked about earlier? Do you remember that? Well, guess what, people? The League of Shadows has that in their possession. They've been releasing Scarecrow's fear toxin into the water supply to sort of, spread it around the city, and then they use the emitter to emit it. I don't know. It uses the goddamn vapors that were in the water supply, and it turns into a gas that everyone in this small section of the city, this small isolated section of the city, is now, well, they're under its spell. And shit is going haywire. People are tripping the fuck out. Rachel gets her big moment by taking down Crane's cocky ass. Homie came in talking big shit for a moment and he left screaming like a little bitch. At this point, Rachel's like, hey, dude, I don't know who you are, but you should probably tell me something just in case you don't make it. Bruce decides, yeah, you know what? I'm gonna tell you, but I'm gonna be a little bit of a dick about it and use your own words against you. Now, people, he's the most fully realized version of this character, at least at this point in the series. This is Batman. This is happening while Gordon's driving the Batmobile, trying to destroy the train tracks so they didn't make it to the Wayne Tower, where the shit was gonna culminate in some big explosion. Gordon does this just in the nick of time, too. Honestly, people, Bruce was over there getting his ass whooped, so he needed this to turn the tide.
Cape, that's why you couldn't fight injustice, and that's why you can't stop this train. Consider anything about stopping it. Yes! You finally learn to do what is necessary. I won't kill you, but I don't have to save you.
Well, Ra's al Ghul is gone. He's done. We won't be seeing any more of him. But now what? We cut to a newspaper with the headline, "Drunk Billionaire Burns Down Home." All right, just well played. Also, Lucius Fox, don't forget about him. He comes back, gets a promotion. Rachel's ready to express herself, and she's like, yeah, I knew who you are all along. I always knew you were a good man, even though, you know, like a week or two ago, you were like, you're probably just some rich dickhead. Whatever, people, we're clearly wrapping it up here. They kiss. Rachel and Bruce both amicably decide that, you know, they can't be together while he's the Cape Crusader. But maybe one day when they're both ready and he's no longer Batman, maybe they'll have that rekindling that they both want so much. I gotta say, people, I was glad they don't end up together because Rachel was sort of coming in there like, you know, we've always been in love. I'm just like, nah, fam, this was not working. It wouldn't have worked in the sequel either. I'm glad they replaced her with Maggie Gyllenhaal. Yes, I'm that person, okay? Yeah, hired the best actor for the job. But before this one's over and done, Gordon and Batman meet up one night to set up a sequel. Apparently, there's some new guy on the streets who likes to leave a calling card. Honestly, people, it's a really solid tease. It's a great setup for what's to come.
You really started something.
Yeah.
And you're wearing a mask. Jumping off rooftops.
And that, people, was Batman Begins. Before we get to the rating, can we talk about a couple conveniences that I just want to quickly brief over? It won't take long. The day Batman recruits Gordon, Jim Gordon, is the same day that Jim is talking to his crooked ass partner about how there's no one to report to in a city that corrupt. Okay, so it's like, all right, we're having this conversation now on the same day. Okay, I feel like that's a conversation we could have had anywhere else in the film. It's just awfully conveniently set up for Batman to swoop in and be this goddamn White Knight. Or in this case, Dark Knight, haha. Or what about the League of Shadows, people? They tell Bruce straight up that they're gonna use him as a plant to take over the city. It also turns out they were gonna come to the city anyway, so they basically just been handed the keys. They have Gotham's prince here. No, I'm sorry. No, it's not working for me, okay? It's just too goddamn convenient and it's just on the nose. Now that's out the way, let's get to the goddamn rating here. Batman Begins gets a low added to the collection. Sure, I had a bunch of complaints here, but this is a movie that's aging pretty well for its time. You know, there's Plenty of films from 2005 that just are unwatchable today. We'll cover a few of those this year, don't worry. But if you haven't seen it, I'm going to urge you to definitely check it out. It's worth a view. Let me know in the comments if you're a big fan of this film like I am, because I just don't feel like this one gets enough respect. And even today, everyone's on the Dark Knight stick, which I understand because that one is fucking epic in so many ways, but we'll cover that at some point. In the meantime, folks, I think it's done here. I've held up so much of your time rambling on about Batman Begins. I think it's time to go. So hey, my name is Henry from Ahead of the Curve 94, and I'm signing out, y'all. Deuces! Hey, it's me again, the guy from the thing you just watched. Feel free to check out one of the 2 videos on your stream currently speaking. You can't go wrong with either or. Thank you so much. This time, it's for real. Deuces.